This is going to be a test of me entering my base, flying around it. Alright, this is my Fortress of Solitude. Can't really be Superman's Fortress of Solitude without a statue of Lauren Jor-El and the big globe of Krypton. Now, these are, of course, just assets that I used from the City Heroes game, but it was important for me to have a space large enough to have these giant statues in the globe. I tried to make the textures look kind of ice-like. It's actually a water texture. When you get really close to it, you can see you could actually fly into it because it's water. But you know, I don't have ice, so that's what I could do. Anyway, here's where the base portal where you enter in, and I wanted the base to be a functional base. Every base needs to have a workshop where you can kind of craft things. Lockers to store enhancements, to store inspirations. I have a bunch of those because during the Christmas event, I gathered up all of the Christmas gift inspirations and sorted them out because otherwise you don't know what they are. I sorted them out in different lockers. All of these provide damage for you, extra damage. It doesn't matter. It's just me showing off. As a functional part of the base, there's some Superman flavor here. I've got the Sun Eater trapped here, and I've got the Forge and a Hammer of Hephaestus to knock out black holes to feed the Sun Eater to keep it comfortable in its little captivity there. All right, let me show you some more functional areas. Bases are useful in City of Heroes to provide fast teleport to different zones, and about half of the zones in City of Heroes I consider metropolis zones, which are nice cityscapes that are clean and shiny and so on, and about half of them are I call Gotham type zones where they're kind of seedy and run down. Anyway, so I rather than just having teleporters all the different zones individually, I created groups of them of metropolis zones and Gotham zones. Um, Workshop and transport is almost entirely all of the functional stuff that you need. So everything else is pretty much flavor, Superman flavor, like the alien zoo that usually is found inside the Fortress of Solitude. And I just use a bunch of different weird collections of things to represent alien life forms. The Justice League meeting room. Tried to create like a lot of space for maybe future things. There's even areas of the base that you cannot get into. Or can you? Now the more complicated stuff I'll show you now. Oh, just real quick. Man of Steel is not a good movie, but I like the alien spacecraft, the Kryptonian spacecraft trapped in ice, so I recreated it somewhat that next to the Fortress of Solitude there is some Kryptonian cedar ship that is being excavated. You can kind of see the water textures kind of works like ice, and you can see there's a break. I have to fix that. Right up here, it's one of the elements that I had to include, the Bottle City of Candor. Now, of course, I can't really create the Bottle City of Candor. I'm just using some assets here. The bottle and the air tank that is usually found in Superman's Fortress of Solitude. He would enter by going into a miniaturization beam and visiting the city where he could not fly because it emulated the environment of Krypton. So I discovered that I could do that. So if we look at the bottle, then step backwards into this miniaturization beam, We were shrunk and dropped down the bottle tube into the bottle city of Krypton. I'm sorry, bottle city of Kandor. Look, there's flying cars. All right, and here's a flying car. Now I included this just for fun. If you put an alien bit on any kind of car, it kind of looks like an alien car at that point. I don't want to fly because I'm in Kandor. I'm not allowed to fly. So I'll just drop down in little stages here as if I'm taking a little flying car Uber. All right, so this is the alien city of Kandor, shrunk down. One day I will have glass walls that go up all the way around. But this is going to take me forever, and I just wanted to go ahead and show this off. So I just created a bunch of alien bits here. Now there's a functional aspect to Kandor. One of the purposes of bases is if you're defeated, you can teleport to a hospital or you can teleport to your base's medical. And rather than putting medical in the Fortress of Solitude, I decided to put it in the bottle city of Kandor. So I guess why would Superman need medical? Because he's invulnerable. But the citizens of Kandor are not invulnerable, so they would need medical. And anyway, I thought that was a good thing. All right, so here's the bottle city. I like the city landscape, the cityscape here. Those are actually rocket boosters that I'm using as alien crazy buildings. Now, at some point, I will have a way for you to get out of the bottle city and back up to the fortress without having to fly, because you shouldn't be able to fly. But until such time as I can do that, I'll just fly back up. And I got to go back up the tube because I won't be able to get into the base otherwise. One last thing to show. Part of Superman lore is his ability to enter the Phantom Zone. Here's the Phantom Zone projector. Takes me through here. I'll explain that crystal in a moment. It's a functional thing. When you're in the Phantom Zone, you can fly around and see things that can't be seen. We are actually looking through the walls of the fortress right now. Even though there were walls, we've been in this room and we did not see all this glasswork here. There's a wall here, but we can see through it. And the reason we can is because there's no texture on the back of these items. But see how that wall vanishes? But we can't go through them. So you're stuck outside the base. You're a phantom. You can observe, but you can't interact. One day I'll have the Phantom Zone wrap around the base almost entirely, so you can maneuver around the base, see everything from the outside. And I've done some unusual things here. Here at the top, you can enter in one of the ice columns that I have in the fortress. So you can come down the fortress floor, but you can't interact with anyone. You can't interact because you can't escape this the walls of the enclosure here. One day I'll do this for more of the ice columns that we have in the fortress. Now, even though this is mostly just flavor, there is a functional aspect. Because the Phantom Zone is a timeless void, time doesn't really do anything here. I included this object that lets you go back in time and run missions that you've out-leveled. So it's a form of time travel that you can use by entering the Phantom Zone. And I thought that was a reasonable thing to have here in the fortress. All right, and you can't exit any other way except by going where the projector is. And there's where we were before. This other ice column here Well, you can go right through it. Uh, one day I'll try to make it so that there's something blocking you from being able to do that. As you can see, this is just a water texture, but it kind of looks like ice. And it was a huge pain to create. I'll just say that much. This whole base was a giant amount of work, but it was worth it because I like how it looks, and it has a Superman Fortress of Solitude feel. It's huge. All right, City Heroes is a free MMO. It's questionable legality, just letting you know. But if anybody ever does want to play, download the game, get the homecoming servers, play on Excelsior, and you can contact me, and I'll be happy to give you a tour of the base in person. Everyone, take care.